continue nationalism in India. The first part in the nationalism in India, we saw about the impact of First World War and the First World War, Khilafat, non-cooperation and idea of Satyagraha. Let's start with the second part, the nationalism in India, differing stands within the movement. Differing stands within the non-cooperation movement in towns and cities. Educated middle class led the movement in towns and cities. Educational institution, law courts and the council election were boycotted. Foreign clothes and other goods were burnt in bonfire. People began to use khadi clothes. Government servants resigned their jobs. Liquor shops were picketed. Yes, the movement started with middle class participation in the cities. Even thousands of students left government-controlled schools and colleges. And headmasters and teachers resigned, and even lawyers gave up their legal practices. Foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops picketed, and foreign cloth burnt in huge bonfire. The import of foreign cloth halved between 1921 and 22. Its value dropping from 1 or 2 crores to 57 crores. Boycott movement spread and the people began discarding imported clothes and wearing only Indian ones. Production of Indian textiles mills and handlooms went up. By this movement in the cities gradually slowed down for a variety of reasons. Yes. Now, speak about the non-cooperation. Non-cooperation movement slowed down in the towns and cities because the reasons: khadi clothes were very costly, the poor were not able to buy them. Indians boycotted British institutions like law courts and education institutions, but alternative institutions did not come up. So, people had to stop boycott. Yes, by this movement, in the cities gradually slowed down for the variety of reasons. Even khadi clothes was often more expensive than mass-produced milk cloth, and poor people could not afford to buy it. For the movement to be successful, alternative Indian institutions had to be set up so that they could be used in the place of the British ones. These were slow to come up. So students and teachers began trickling back to government schools and lawyers joined back work in government courts. Now, let's start with this picture about the public meeting. Movement in the countryside, villages, peasants movement. In Awadh, peasants movement was organized by Baba RAMCHADRA. It was against landlords, talukdars, reduction of rent and abolition of beggar were their main demand. They formed the Awadh Kisan Sabha. Yes. In Awadh, peasants were led by Baba RAMCHADRA. Yes. Yes. A sannyasi who had earlier been in Fiji as an indentured labor. The movement here was against the talukdars and the landlords who demanded from peasants high rent and the variety of other seizures. And even peasants had to do beggar and work at landlords' farms without any payments. So for all these things had to be boycott. Yes. So in October 1920, we formed Awadh Kisan Sabha with the help of Nehru. Yes. So in June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru began going around the village in Awadh, talking to the villagers and trying to understand their grievances. By October, the Awadh Kisan Sabha was set up, headed by Jawaharlal Nehru and Baba RAMCHADRA and few others. Within a few months, the branches has been set up in all the villages around the region. Now, let's go to the tribal movement. In the Gudam Hills of Andhra Pradesh, tribals started movement under the leadership of Haluri Sitaram Raju. Yes, yes. And tribals wanted to get back their traditional rights over forest. The method followed by the tribals and peasants were against the Gandhian method of non-violence. They followed violence method of struggle. Yes. Tribal peasants interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi and the idea of Swaraj in yet another way. The Gudum Hills of Andhra Pradesh, for instance, a militant guerrilla movement spread in the early 1920. And apart from that, the colonial government had closed a large forest area and preventing people from entering the forest to graze their cattle. Yes, so because of that, the tribal people, they wanted to get back the traditional rights over the forest. And even not only were their livelihoods affected, but they felt that the traditional rights were being denied. Yes, and even when the government began forcing them to contribute bigger for road building, and hill people revolted. Yes, at the time, Haluri Sitaram Raju, the person who came to lead them, was an interesting figure. Haluri Sitaram Raju claimed that he had a variety of special power. Many people considered him as an incarnation of God. They believed that he had many special power. Yes, and Haluri claimed that he had a variety of special power. He could make correct astrological prediction and heal people. So, Raju talk of the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi, said he was inspired by the non-cooperation movement and persuaded people to wear khadi and give up drinking. And at the next one, but at the same time, he asserted that India could be liberated only by the use of force, not non-violence. The Gudam rebels attacked the police station, attempted to kill British officials and carried on guerrilla warfare for achieving Swaraj. Raju was captured and executed in 1924. Over the time, became a folk hero. Movement in the plantation. Workers in the plantation of Assam demanded the right to move freely in and out of the estates. They opposed the Inland Immigration Act of 1859, which took away the rights to free movement. When they heard about the non-cooperation movement, they moved to their villages. They thought that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given land in their village. However, they were caught and brought back. Yes, for plantation workers in Assam, freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of the confined space which they were enclosed. And it meant retaining a link with the village from where they have come. Under the Inland Immigration Act of 1859, plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea garden without the permission, and in fact, they were rarely given such permission. When they heard about the non-cooperation movement, thousands of workers denied the authorities, left the plantation at a dead home. They believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given land in their own village. However, never reached the destination. Stranded on the way by a railway steamer strike, they were caught by the police and brutally beaten up. Withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement because the movement became violent in some places in February 1922. The Chaurichara, Uttar Pradesh people turned violent and set fire to a police station. 22 policemen were killed in this incident. Gandhiji was against violence. So the movement slowed down in the urban area. He thought that it was necessary to train the people in the non-violent satyagraha. Significance of non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement was a large-scale mass movement. It attracted common people from all the social groups. So non-cooperation movement, the Khilafat movement went together, so they promoted Hindu-Muslim unity. Peasants and tribals movements became a part of Indian national movement. It was a non-violent movement, so it popularized the Gandhian idea of non-violent satyagraha. The next picture is about the incident which was happened in Chaurichara in 1922. Yes, the last. Thank you, students.